Yo, Richie Rich, aka Gold Pinky Toe, back at you with another short video. Today we're going to be replacing the throttle position sensor on a 1999 Chevy Tahoe. This should be good for replacement for years 96 through 03, but double check. It's a pretty straightforward process. You're going to need, obviously, a new throttle position sensor. I'm going with the AC Delco. There's the part number for it. I'm just replacing the factory one. Not sure if it's really worn out, but it is old, and I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. The thing you will need for this is a T25 Torx bit and ratchet to remove the two bolts. So with that being said, the two bolts are going to be, sorry about the lighting, are going to be at the top left of the sensor and towards the bottom right of the sensor. One of the first things you're going to need to do before removing the sensor is to carefully take the connector clip and remove that from the sensor. So now that the sensor is removed off of there, you can go ahead and remove the two torque bits. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and be right back with you. Alright guys, so just wanted to show you an update on what this is currently looking like. So the one on the left here, that's my factory one, and this is the one I'm going to be replacing it with. Now the factory one doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, but if you look in here, the center piece has a pretty significant gap around it, and if you can move it around with your finger where it's got a lot more play in it, as opposed to the new one, of course. Even though there's a slight ring around it, it is tight and it doesn't move around, doesn't have any play. So this one has a little bit more play in it, which obviously is not going to be as accurate as it should be. So one of the keys when you're putting this back on is if, per se, you're putting it back on like this. Well, it's got this little key straightaway for the rod that it goes back on, so you need to match the flat part of this with the flat part of that little rod that this slips back onto. Instead of putting it on and sliding it on all the way and then trying to turn it to match up your bolt holes, my suggestion would be to put it partially on there. Once you line up the straightaway there with the straightaway on the bar, put it on there partially to hold it, and then rotate it a little bit for your bolt holes, and then put your bolt, at least one of the bolts, in to hold it in place, and then push it all the way on, and then put your bolts back in to tighten it. So once I get that done, then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright guys, so after installing this using the technique that I told you, which is to put the key lock back on about halfway, and then rotating it left or right a little bit to line up your bolt holes on the top and bottom. Put one bolt in to hold it into place, and then put your second bolt in, and then once you put those two in, you know it's secured where it should be. Go ahead and tighten everything down. Only tighten this about hand tight because these are plastic, so if you tighten it too much, you're going to crack the housing for this TPS sensor. Once you have it tightened down and back in place, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and put your connector clip back here, if I can get it, and now that is good to go. So if you tune in and watch the next video, we're just going to be showing you how to replace the idle air control valve, which is right next to this. Pretty simple as well, and doesn't take long to do. So watch that video when it gets done, but like I said, this will be replacing the idle air control valve on the next one. Hope you like this, hope it helps and makes everything easy as far as installing this. Thanks, have a great one.